Hey everyone, Joe here from the Minecraft Alliance, and welcome back to an episode of Reviewing Doctor Who, guys. And in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing episode number 2 of series 10, Smile, written by Frank Cottrell Boyce. Now, Frank recently wrote for Doctor Who, writing In the Forest of the Night, a series 8 episode, which is probably one of the worst received episodes in Doctor Who's history. Now, I think this episode is completely different to that, and I'll explain why after I go through the plot. So, time to look at the plot, starting with the beginning of the episode. Before I start going through the plot, please be advised that there are spoilers ahead. I just thought I'd warn you about this while BBC iPlayer decided to load. Here we go. So the episode opens on the TARDIS with Bill and the Doctor discussing what the TARDIS can do and how the Doctor acquired the TARDIS and just the Doctor in general, really. Although they don't get to the hearts thing yet. Then Nardole shows up and tells the Doctor he's not allowed to go off-world as he has to protect the Vault. And now this is an interesting turn of character from the funny Nardole, I guess you could say, that we've seen in previous episodes, to this serious character. Which I have to say, I quite like, but that's just my personal opinion. Then we go to the planet. Now, forgive me if they do mention the name in the episode. I haven't watched the episode for over a week now, so do forgive me if they mention the name. But then they go to the planet, and the woman gets killed as she's not smiling, as you need to smile on this planet, and her body gets turned into a skeleton, which is really quite freaky, I'll be honest, the first time watching. Then there's a really good shot of the robot with the skull face, then the smiley face, and then the other woman also gets turned into a skeleton. After the opening titles, it's now time for Bill and the Doctor to arrive on this planet, and there's a really nice opening shot of this planet, or this city I should say, that's kind of just in a cornfield. Then they meet some of the emoji bots, and there's some shots on screen now of that. Now, before I go on, I will point out that obviously I've missed some stuff, so please don't say in the comments like, oh, Joe, you've missed stuff, because I know I have. I missed all of the scenes with the jelly and Bill finding out that the Doctor has 2 hearts. But yeah, so essentially then they discover that if you don't smile, the robots will kill you, and then there's a really funny scene where they're trying to escape from the robots, and they're just putting really awkward smiles and talking about going to Wiltshire and Aberdeen, I think they say, which is quite funny, I think. Then the Doctor and Bill run back to the TARDIS, and the Doctor leaves Bill in the TARDIS while he runs back to try and blow up the city and stop this. Now, while Bill is left on her own at the TARDIS, she sort of comes to the conclusion that the Doctor is the helpline. That's why he doesn't call the helpline, which is kind of interesting. So, skipping a bit, the Doctor and Bill meet and they find the human ship. Then they board it, and Bill is tasked with the objective of helping the Doctor to navigate the ship using the map. She then realises that she could just take a photo of the map and come with the Doctor, but then she then also realises that the Doctor had already memorised it and was kind of a bit peeved off about that he was trying to keep her out of trouble, but that's what he does. Then Bill eventually makes her way down to the Doctor, but she finds something along her way that makes the Doctor quite puzzled. She finds a boy, and the Doctor realises that the humans are already here. The colonists are already here, so he can't blow up the ship and has to stop the ship from blowing up urgently. The Doctor tries to educate the humans on exactly what's going on and try and warn them, but the humans are having none of it, and they just decide to attack the Vardy. If I didn't mention before, that's what these robots are called, the Vardy. And the boy, who Bill found, is caught up in the crossfire, which is really quite sad, actually. I should just point out, in case any of you were confused, the boy does not die, he is just involved in part of the attack. The Doctor then explains his signature chess move, kicking over the board and therefore starting again. And then the Doctor explains about the magic haddock, which is something he's been referencing on and off throughout the episode. So then a shockwave, I guess you could call it a shockwave, comes from the robot and consumes the entire area and the screen, turning it white. So then everybody wakes up, and the Doctor becomes the negotiator between the Vardy and the humans to establish this new colony on this planet. And there is this really funny bit where basically the Doctor asks the Vardy whether he'd like them to discuss rent, and the Vardy's eyes just turn into pound signs, which I think is really funny. Now, out of curiosity, is this our writer Frank saying that the British pound sterling is the greatest currency and it will be the only currency left when this eventually has to happen? Because that's the symbol that appears in his eye. Either way, that's pretty much it, until we get to the bit where the Bill and the Doctor find themselves on the Thames as the Doctor tries to get them home, but unfortunately can't, leading into next week's episode. So, what's my review of this episode? I think it's a definite improvement from In the Forest of the Night. But I didn't think In the Forest of the Night was too bad to begin with. But this definitely got a better reception than In the Forest of the Night. It's definitely been more well received. And I have to say, I think this has been a real episode too. And I was watching a review last week that mentioned this, and I'll just kind of repeat what they said. They said that it's very rare that you actually remember an episode 2. You remember, like, episode 2 from series 8 was Into the Dalek. Episode 2 from series 9 was the second part of The Magician's Apprentice, which was The Witch is Familiar. Series 7 episode 2, I can't even remember. Series 5 episode 2, for example, was the Smiler episode, The Beast Below, which I honestly never remember. Ooh, Smiler! Smile! But yeah, guys, that's my review. Overall, I guess this episode at 7.5 out of 10, because I thought it was a good episode, but I still thought there could be areas for improvement, but like I say, it's definitely a memorable episode. Alright then, guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Stay tuned today for another episode of reviewing Doctor Who. This will be for the 3rd episode. And also stay tuned today, I know it's slightly later than I thought it would be, but also stay tuned, like I say, for the opening of Series 3 of Random Vlogs, guys. Have a great day. Have a wonderful rest of your May Day, and I will see you all in the next video, guys. Bye!